Hey guys, fall TV season is upon us. That means there's a ton of TV shows left and right. We've got a big fall TV preview on IGN where you can read a long list of shows. But here we're going to focus on just a few that really stand out to us from what we've seen. In some cases, one episode, and some a few that we think have a lot of potential, and we hope that they'll be great down the line. So let's start off with Westworld.
I think it's fair to say that of all the shows we've watched for this coming fall TV season, Westworld is the one we're most excited about.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first episode. You've seen the first two. It's just exactly what I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is my really big hope for the fall is Westworld, and so far from what I've seen of these two episodes, it nails it. It's so cool. It's so interesting. They've got a cool sci-fi concept from the movie that they really expand upon in really great ways, and I think you guys are going to be very intrigued by this one. The next show is also one I think you're already pretty sold on, but I'm just going to still mention it. Luke Cage, the third of the new Marvel Netflix series.
And this is one we've seen the most of. I've seen the first 7 episodes, and I'm keeping all the spoilers inside of me.
We've seen 4 so far.
It comes out the gate a little bit slower to me than Jessica Jones and Daredevil, but like by that 7th episode, I was like done. And this is a show that's meant to be binged like all Netflix shows, and I think it really is doing something different with superheroes, especially these street level superheroes that we've seen before. I think it's interesting to see a superhero like Jessica Jones. Her name was her superhero identity, but for Luke, I think he's a bit more out there. We already saw Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, and I think he won us all over then. So I think this is a really interesting show that feels different enough from the other 2 shows that they have that it's offering something new.
Yeah, Terry's full review of that will be coming down the line, but I will just say, that it has its own feel to it, which I think is really important. And they make really cool decisions, I think, with sort of the look and the music and
This is the year of good Netflix music between this and Stranger Things.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool things about it on technical side besides the fact that it's got a very engaging lead character. Next up, we'll talk about Designated Survivor. No, there aren't a lot of network dramas we're mentioning here, but this one I think does have a cool hook to it.
Yeah, I mean, the hook is that Kiefer Sutherland, you know him best as Jack Bauer, is
not playing himself, sadly.
Not playing himself, is playing a low-level government official who becomes the last person alive after an attack on Washington, D.C.
The highest-ranking person
left.
Yes,
and gets thrust into the presidency, and that's basically where the pilot leaves us, and the show kicks off. I think, it's a very engaging premise, and Kiefer is a great actor. And it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, the pilot definitely grabbed me, and it's the double sort of thing going on is the idea of this guy who is very out of his league now as president of the United States, plus who was behind this attack on America, who killed all the leaders. So there's kind of these parallel plot lines. And the pilot definitely grabbed me. I want to see where it goes next. Next, we'll talk about Son of Zorn. This is the Fox hybrid live action / animated show. The executive producers, Lord and Miller, did Lego Movie, the Jump Street movies, and Last Man on Earth. This is their new show. What are your first impressions of Son of Zorn?
It has so much potential to be like the funniest thing about Son of Zorn is Zorn, who's the animated character, who's basically like He-Man riff, is just him doing mundane things in Orange County. Like, to me, that's what's funniest. And also this whole fantasy world he comes from. Like, I can't wait to see more of the world. We've only seen the pilot, which very much just sets up the bare bones of the story. But I think there's just so much potential, and it's hard to do something different with animated comedies than we've seen before. And I think this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I mean, Lord and Miller are known for their sort of out there concepts. This
Lego Movie?
Yeah, this is another one, and it is pretty out there, but definitely Zorn himself is a funny character. I'm also a big Tim Meadows fan, so a lot of his sort of dry delivery I like there a lot, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. And then let's talk about Atlanta, which FX is known for these very unusual comedies. Louis kind of set a big precedent for them. This is Donald Glover from Community, but he created this. This is completely his show about an aspiring rapper, not him. He plays a guy trying to sort of be the manager to the aspiring rapper in the Atlanta scene, and a very sort of offbeat comedy drama vibe to this one.
It definitely went more drama than comedy for me, which I think is sort of an FX trend, and we see that on HBO sometimes too. It's a bit more cerebral than you'd expect. The first episode sort of has a straight through plot, but then after that it gets a little bit more abstract and is sort of like I don't want to say slice of life, but it's different than what I expected, and I think it's really interesting to see Donald Glover like so much putting his creative stamp on this and offering something new. I've never seen anything like Atlanta before.
Yeah, Atlanta is. I've seen the first 4, and there's some episodes where they'll have kind of a much more straightforward plot line, but then a subplot that gets kind of out there and goes into some strange places. Plus, it's a really good look at a guy, the normal part of it about a guy who's got no money, but he does have a kid he's trying to support. And just sort of a very slice of life depiction of what's going on for him. I'm really intrigued by this one. I think some people won't be the pace they want, but if you're into sort of a little bit of a little mellow pace, this one might be for you. And then let's talk about The Good Place, which is a new live action show, NBC, from Mike Schur, the co-creator of Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, with really good pedigree here, Ted Danson and Kristen Bell starring. But it's got an interesting scenario.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's like just as delightfully weird as you would want it to be. Much stranger out the gate than Parks and Rec or The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine were. Basically, Kristen Bell gets sent up to The Good Place after she has a pretty upsetting, embarrassing death.
Yeah.
And it's like this perfect world, and Ted Danson is the architect there, but twist, you find out she's not actually the person who deserves to be in the good place, and she's actually not that good of a person, and so she's sort of trying to fool her way and become a good person and earn the right to be there, but it's actually sort of her hell, and I think that's what's the most fun of it.
Yeah, obviously great actors here as the leads. Mike Schur, I'm a huge fan of. Parks and Rec, I think, is one of the best comedies of the past decade, maybe more than that. And yeah, the fact that it's kind of this, he's going into this weird sort of metaphysical place with it, it really shows you the sky's the limit, no pun intended, with Good Place. And the pilot's directed by Drew Goddard, co-director of, director of Cabin in the Woods, and whose writing credits include, Buffy and Angel and so many things like that. And you see why they hired him near the end of the pilot, because it shows this is a show where, anything could happen. And I think most of the time it'll probably be sort of more a mundane depiction of the Good Place, but once in a while it could get pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most culty show on this list. Son of
Zorn.
But I think Zorn will end up having a broader appeal. For this one, I'll say if you liked Community, I think this is a show that will have like the right vibe for you, and you'll really connect with what they're trying to do.
Yeah. And if you like Kristen Bell, and if you don't like Kristen Bell,
what's wrong here?
What's wrong
Get
with
out
you? Here. So that is our list of a few of the shows that so far what we've seen we're pretty hopeful for going to the fall. You never know. I mean, some pilots could be weak and then they have to become great shows. Some great pilots turn into not great shows, but we'll be watching, we'll be monitoring. We hope you will too. And for plenty more on Fall TV and All TV, keep it here at IGN.